welcome to the Huddle. I am your host, Hal Cruttenden. You might know me as the guy that got on the big screen at Spurs for the Showdown 2. It's still the finest moment of my life. Anyway, welcome to the Huddle, the show that gives you the inside scoop into everything Sarries. We're going to bring you private info, behind-the-scenes access and exclusive content. Today's episode is all really about the Saracens Foundation. And Saracens Foundation are going to be taking over the game against Exeter on Sunday. But before I continue, it's time to bring in a man a great man, a long-time fan, a true expert on Saracens. And if you're wondering why I'm being so nice to him for the first time, it's because after the Showdown 2 game, we went out as a group, Saracens fans. I ended up in Chingford, and I got so drunk I don't remember a lot of what happened, but I do know that he was quite sober and seemed to he probably knows a lot about me, so I'm going to be nice to him for the whole show. It's Steve Cummins!
Hello.
Hello.
I think that's slightly more disconcerting than you abusing me, if I'm honest.
Is it? Was that weird?
I'm not used to you being nice.
Well, it does make me worry because I still have I know it's wrong to talk about drinking heavily as a man in my early 50s, but I still don't remember large parts of the evening, and I've been told bits like we were in a different pub and then the restaurant was different. And
I've got a lot of it on video, so
good.
don't worry. I'll either bring you up to speed or we'll feed it into the show.
Okay. Should we start by talking about the Showdown?
Let's. Why not? What a great day.
It was a great day, but did we overawe the team? Because they should have dispatched Bristol more easily than they did. Or was it just coming back from the internationals?
Well, you say we should have dispatched Bristol. Bristol have been a bit of a curate's egg, haven't they? They've blown a little bit hot and cold. But when you look at the Saracens team that played, when realistically was the last time we had that group of players together? It's possibly the away game at Racing, the European semi-final, 18 months, 2 years ago, when we had those riches to choose from. So it was a great occasion, fantastic stadium, great support, 50-odd thousand, which for these current times when we're still a little bit unsure and people pulling out at the last minute or maybe struggling to commit to something at short notice. I thought the crowd was fantastic, brilliant facilities, and what a decision at the end.
Yeah, it was just perfect. It was perfect. And can I say, I don't want to big up other fans. Bristol fans are my favourites.
And they took it very well, didn't they?
They are very nice fans, which just goes to show you can support a rugby team in the West Country and not be unpleasant like Gloucester.
Absolutely.
Isn't that a wonderful thing? But they were so nice all round us. I made lots of friends. And as I say, Bristol is sort of my second team. If ever I do anything terrible and I'm never allowed to come here again, I'm going to move to Bristol and support them.
Down there.
Interesting. I thought it was a great game. But very quickly, as well, we should be covering all the other games that happened this last weekend. We're definitely booked in for another Showdown, are we, next season? Was that all going to definitely happen? When does that get decided?
I'm not sure. Season 3?
Yeah,
plot
Showdown
twist.
3.
I don't know. Maybe we'll negotiate. We'll see how this one goes.
Oh, yes. We think it is going to happen. So, why did I bring that up when I didn't know the answer?
You're just securing your own future
no
again, aren't you?
on this show at
Back
all.
on script, please.
I really liked going to Spurs, and I'd like to go again. And because Hal wanted to go, we do it again.
That's it.
Saracens women, they did lose to Gloucester Hartbury.
Yes, in the 5th-6th playoff.
Fifth, sixth playoff. But it was a good, Allianz Cup. It's a place where they blood more,
very much a development competition. Slightly odd format. Obviously, losing the game to COVID the week before didn't help our chances of moving further on in that competition. But very, very useful experience for some of the younger coaches and players. And now full focus on Wasps on the 14th and a big run in for the home semi-final.
Though they already have the home semi-final. That is only about whether they come top or not. But it's about momentum, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Alex will not let them take the foot off the gas at all. That'll be all guns blazing to get that trophy back from Queen's.
And if I can do some name dropping, we ran into at the Showdown.
We
ran into Sonic Green and Lottie Clapp.
Yeah.
And interesting chat with Sonic about nicknames.
That's right.
Because we have this thing where I worry about using a nickname. I feel like it's too familiar when you don't know someone. And I said, it is, do I call you Sonic or Sonia? And she went, I'd actually be a little bit offended if you didn't call me Sonic. She said, the kids call me Sonic and everything. So you can get me done either way.
She wears it as a badge of honour. She's a phenomenal servant to Saracens women and to the high school. It's very much an affectionate nickname, isn't it? So Sonic it is.
It doesn't mean you could run up to Owen Farrell and say Faz immediately without being his best friend.
Check with him first.
I think that definitely. But right, so we've had... All things are going brilliantly for the women. Now, the game against Cardiff on Sunday, I'm making a lot of references today to my drinking problems. I was a tiny bit hungover for this game as well.
Okay.
It felt like both teams were as well. Loads of mistakes.
It was an odd fixture in a lot of ways. Beautiful weather, small crowd. It felt a little bit almost pre-season, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way. You know, to be in that glorious sunshine that we had on Easter Sunday. So many other people with commitments that would have loved to have been there. You know, slightly tricky scheduling at short notice from the win at Brive. But yeah, we did seem to take a little bit of time to get into our stride. Let's not underestimate Cardiff. Probably the only thing that they really had left to play for. Their domestic season hasn't been very successful. So this was a chance of putting a smile back on the Cardiff fans' faces. Navidi was back. I thought he was exceptional. That was his first game back for a
He
long,
was
for a
brilliant,
long
wasn't
time.
he?
And you know, a couple of Welsh internationals, and we had Reece Priestland there just taking a kick. Unusual kicking style this weekend. Haven't seen him kick like that ever. I don't think
he did miss one, didn't he?
Yeah, and a lot of them were a bit snaky. So I'm glad it didn't come down to a last-minute conversion. Nice to see Reece Kerr back.
Yes.
Even though we had to go back 3/4 of an hour from the TMO to collect his try.
Yeah.
But yeah, a win's a win.
I
And
like a
we're
little
in.
bit of Don Morris, by the way. That's the thing. I've said it before. I love those deceptively powerful players who's deceptively fast and powerful.
And what a pass there from Owen.
Yeah.
Out to Duncan Taylor. Little sleight of hand from Duncan.
Yeah.
Putting Dom through there. I think there was a lot of skill on display that went overlooked in real time. That when you go back and look, you think actually there's some real positives there from our backs.
Well, so it is. You couldn't actually say people had, because I thought Billy was amazing.
Yeah.
Max Malin's, I thought. I mean, he was man of the match, but I thought brilliant breaks through the middle. Ironi Maui, I was mentioning to you off camera, coming a bit like he could be the Mako Vunipola, the next Mako Vunipola.
Absolutely.
He's kind of like,
well, the coaches certainly saw something in him, and he had a very good half in Brive. He was at the centre of a lot of the gain line success that we made in Brive. Unfortunate to go off with that cut eyebrow, but yeah, I think he had another very good game. I really do, and as a squad. Working on different combinations. I thought Manu was excellent when he came on, and probably benefited from having Faz at 12. So maybe there's something for England to consider there going forwards. I'm just saying.
I can't call him Faz because I don't know him well enough. Owen,
Young
very
Owen,
good game.
yes, very good. Again, very good game.
And did lots of things that people don't. You know, his distribution is fantastic.
Yeah, especially the little put through for Owen for Max's try as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to mention that earlier on because it might be my moment of the week. But anyway, yeah, fantastic stuff. So now it's I know what I was going to talk about. There was that. I mean, in terms of how importantly they're taking this game, I know we keep talking about Challenge Cup, that it isn't. Would it be? Is it dangerous to put too much into the Challenge Cup and risk our Premiership run? Because actually, that's what's more important. But a lot of us want to go to Marseille.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a competition we haven't won. So to add that to our trophy cabinet, I think would be fantastic. Another opportunity again to have these younger players coming through with some experience outside them, to experience that big final mentality. A few days in Marseille certainly won't go amiss, but with 9 or 10 games left towards the end of the season, this is where the coaches really earn their money. Do you go big on one competition or another? Do you build the winning mentality that we talked about for the women? Is it just about winning the next game and moving on? You can't hold a player back. You can't rest a player particularly if he's absolutely chomping at the bit. And it might do more harm than good, dropping him and then expecting him to come in and raise his game next week. So
Certainly.
we'll trust the coaches. We've done it before. We've won the odd double here and there in our history.
Exactly.
So let's hope that they're all over it.
And if we do get to Marseille, I'm not drinking so that I remember everything that happens.
Fantastic. I'll hold you to that.
Right, so now it's time for StoneX Shorts. And this one is about what makes you smile. Is it family, winning, spag bowl, chocolate, the one and only Richard Barrington? He is actually one of the friendliest players.
Drinking?
Drinking.
Chingford?
Chingford. Don't mention it. There's a restaurant in Chingford where I hug the owner. I don't know where it is. Anyway, but you make me smile, Steve. But sometimes in a sad way. But anyway, let's check out this episode of StoneX Shorts to hear what makes our men and women's Saracens teams show their gnashers.
The sea, surfing, being in my camper van, surfing. Yeah, being behind the brake on my surfboard.
Pop a red wine on a Wednesday night.
My family. So I should not laugh when I say that.
Richard Barrington puts a smile on my face most days.
When the backs do a move and it goes to plan.
Winning. I like winning. That makes me smile.
Wow, a lot of things. On a very hot day, a lovely cold bottle of water.
Seeing other people happy makes me smile.
A smile from someone else. So as long as everyone else has a good time, I'm having a good time, and we're all good.
My son Oliver.
A big spaghetti bolognese with a lot of parmesan on the top.
Anything naughty that I shouldn't have. Food, alcoholic beverages, chocolate.
Friendly people. Caffeine and a tiki-tonga after a win.
Brilliant stuff there. Now it's time for the front row. Which basically is all the club news that's going on at the moment. We've got the next Mavericks fixture. Our netball team, Saracens Mavericks, have had a busy weekend down at Resort World in Birmingham for the VNSL Spring Showdown. Next up, we're heading back home to Hertfordshire Sports Village as we take on Loughborough Lightning on Monday the 2nd of May at 7 p.m. Head to saracens.com to secure your seat courtside. I do think we should, apparently it's quite hard to get tickets, but get tickets because they do sell out. And there'll probably be celebs there. It's like the LA Lakers, where you see Jack Nicholson and Spike Lee and Kim Kardashian, Larry David. So we need to get, who's a Hertfordshire celeb?
I was going to say, have you ever played Resort World? Is that, is that somewhere we need to be?
Hi. We've also got the next women's fixture. Saracens women's continue their winning campaign in the Allianz Premier 15s. They're already got a home semi-final. This is all about getting top spot. The next home game is at StoneX, Saturday, 14th of May, 2 p.m. kickoff. And head to saracens.com to secure your seats and throw your support behind the team. Were we saying this earlier, that it is about, it would be nice for them to get top spot and just keep momentum going.
Absolutely, and Wasps, old rivals, you know, there's lots of little subtexts, isn't there? Alex Osterbury will want that team absolutely firing before the semi-final, which will probably be the week after. So as much as a preparation as anything, I think they'll be very keen to put a marker down. Yeah.
Brilliant. So go, and if you meet Sonic Green, call her Sonic. Don't call her Sonia. Next men's fixture is, of course, this Sunday at the StoneX. It's the business end of the season. We host our old rivals, Exeter Chiefs, 24th of April, 3 p.m. kickoff. Just a few tickets remaining. That's going to be a sellout, so just get in there now if you can get a ticket. Again, I'm remaining very calm about this game, but I desperately want us to win it.
Oh yeah.
How stressed do you get, Steve?
Not too much until match day. I never sleep in on a match day. I start to get that adrenaline and that anticipation. I look forward to it. I let the logical half of my brain work out who's likely to play, where we're stronger, who would you have in your team, etc., etc. I was quite pleased to see Jack Noel had his stag do this weekend, so hopefully they're still hungover and they're not training particularly well this week. Any little advantage that we can take, but yeah, I think we'll go all out for this one. I think we'll have a very, very strong team out, and I think they'll be very keen to really, really show the rest of the Premiership exactly what we're all about.
Exactly. It is. You do feel there's a more pig-headedness about Exeter, though, isn't it? It's almost like I worry more than playing Quinns. Because we've beaten Quinns home and away this season, but I always think of Quinns as a team. Yeah, we can take them. But you feel like with Exeter, they really and they've got a chip in their shoulder about us. God knows why. But now we've got a very special guest for you today, illustrious, I might say. We're delighted to be joined by Philip Smith, CEO of StoneX, who, as you all know, are Saracens' lead partner, as well as being the Saracens Foundation principal partner. And they're working hard supporting this weekend's Saracens Foundation Takeover Match Day. So, Philip Smith, hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're very well. How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you. Very pleased to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sparing the time. We're going to be asking you a lot about Saracens Foundation, but this is from my sort of non-business point of view. That decision, the decision that StoneX made to become the main sponsor of Sarries, how did that process come about? Was it like, was it made by you and everybody went, what are you doing? You went, I'm a massive rugby fan, or was it like, how did the idea come about?
Well, I think it started probably about 18 months ago when we were going through the process of acquiring Gain Financial, which is the company that owns City Index here in the UK. And StoneX previously was very much in the institutional and the commercial client space. And having an opportunity to acquire Gain gave us that capability to be extended into retail, and obviously through the brand of City Index. Now, at the time, City Index were having initial conversations about some broad sponsorship transactions, which included other sports as well. It wasn't just rugby, and it certainly wasn't exclusive to Saracens. And this was very new to us as StoneX in terms of having a close association with a sporting franchise or advertising within the sporting space. But as the deal concluded and City Index became part of the StoneX family and part of the broader branding, it gave us an opportunity to really give some serious consideration to what would we want to achieve from such an association, such a partnership, which we've never done before. So this, we came into this with open eyes and an opportunity for us to try something new, try something we've not done before, and take advantage of the fact that City Index, as part of a larger company as StoneX is, to be able to truly leverage any financial partnership that we consider ourselves to be, of benefit to us. And Saracens was very much the one that matched every aspect of what we were looking for, and in terms of the association we wanted to maintain.
Because we were saying at the time, was it seen at the time there was it's something that's paid off, I think, because I thought we were going to be a bit mid-table and boring, and the women's team are doing brilliantly, the men's team doing brilliantly. Was it seen as a bit of a risk? People going, It was a club that was in the doldrums, going into the championship, but is it possibly that excitement of going, we could see the rebirth of this club that's going through this crisis?
The way we saw it is that this was an opportunity for us to come in, and as I said before, to be part of a sporting partnership that we'd never been part of before and never been involved in, and an opportunity to be honest, work with Saracens when they were probably in most need of a close partnership. And I think we stepped up to the plate to be able to put our name well and truly and firmly on not only on their shirts but on their stadium, and say we are very much involved in this partnership. We have, our reputation is sacrosanct, and we will do everything to maintain it. And we saw this as a perfect opportunity to jump in where others decided to pull out, and that's been very much our approach to business and our approach to our success over the last 20 years. Is being able to make decisions quickly, decisions that are long-term in thinking, not just short-term in terms of reaction. And I think that was very much what was needed for, a true partner of Saracens.
And of course, now we're 12 or 14 months into that partnership. What's been the biggest win for you so far, Philip, working with Saracens and the foundation particularly?
Well, I think when I was first asked about the association, and when you think about who would you like to be in any sport, you want to be associated and working alongside the best. And there is no doubt that the Saracens tick all the boxes in terms of domestic success, international success, and therefore it was a huge opportunity for us to seize that partnership away from others. And I think the fact that we stepped in at that particular time, and the announcement was made at the beginning of the season in the championship, I think spoke volumes in terms of how we wanted to be as high profile a partner as possible. And I think we're now starting to see the real success from that. It's a pleasure for me to see, watching on television, commentary from StoneX Stadium and seeing our name across everyone's shirt, and seeing our name across the whole of the stadium and all the matches that are being shown live on TV. And obviously the next match coming up is going to be on not just on BT Sport but also on ITV. So suddenly the coverage is taking it to a level that we never really expected, and we never experienced before. and it's wonderful to see. And and in addition to that, the success of Saracens in not just in the Prem, but also in the knockout tournament. So how can we not, as a company, be very pleased with the reaction so far and the association and the benefits of it? And
more now. We're seeing more and more business turn into the sporting world and vice versa. It may be a little early, but is there anything that StoneX and City Index are learning from the association with Saracens, the way that we go about our business?
Yes, and I think what we've learned over the 2 seasons so far is the close working relationship with the Saracens marketing team and senior management, because it's a constant two-way relationship, which I think has been very productive, because we've gone into this with a view that we want to embrace all aspects of this, and then we will review afterwards whether they have proved to be a success or not. So we're sort of looking at things going, yes, let's give it a go and see if it works, rather than trying to figure out in advance whether something will be a success, either from a branding perspective, a marketing perception perspective, or whatever it might be. So we're probably the sort of, I don't want to say we're the doe-eyed partners, but we're definitely sort of viewing everything with open arms and going, yeah, let's give it a go. Let's see if it works, and let's be the judge of whether that project or that program or that piece of advertising or whatever it might be that we put in place has proved to be a success. And I would say the vast majority of everything we've done, and in cooperation with Saracens and the management team and the marketing team, has been a huge success.
Yeah, I suppose that's the nature of sport, isn't it? Getting involved with a sport team, though, that you can't guarantee anything.
No, of course.
As before the Bristol game, I said loudly, we're going to walk this by about 25 points, and then we nearly lost it. Also,
but what a game that was, and what an opportunity to play in such a beautiful stadium. I'm a Spurs fan for my sins, so it was a double whammy for me to be able to see Saracens not just play well there, but also in those surroundings.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. We do. I mean, I'm not a proper football fan anymore, but I it's made me want to go and watch Spurs, to go to that stadium again. Yeah. I really just love it. Yeah, thought it was great. But in terms particularly of the foundation, being attached to Saracens Foundation, was that something personally important to you to be associated with them as well?
Well, once again, our approach has been, let's look at every aspect of the relationship. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't fully aware of how large the foundation was and how extensive the programs were. And so as part of the getting to know you early stages of dealing with Saracens and the management team was getting to understand what is being run as part of the foundation. And it was one of those moments where the penny dropped in terms of, this is something much bigger than I personally thought was in place and being affected. And I think it's one of those opportunities where you can't help but be involved and be supportive and be in awe of what's been achieved and what's been rolled out week in, week out, in terms of all the programs, in terms of all the programs that they have across, not just at the stadium, but across the sort of London and Hertfordshire region, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it is awe-inspiring. And when you have an opportunity to meet some of the people who will stand up at fundraisers for the foundation and talk about the effect that the various programs have had on their life for X years, because they've been coming to a specific program or programs since they were very young, and the effect it's had on them and also their families. And you suddenly realize this is something that is being rolled out and is so well established in terms of its reach that you can't help but be 100% behind it, which is why we as a company have said, yes, absolutely. We would 100% be the lead sponsor of the foundation. And we began immediately putting in place a program where all of our employees are able to volunteer at our expense, at the company's expense, to support various programs that are being run, as it fits in with Saracens Foundation, but also with our employees. So we're trying to sort of, and this is new to us. So we've never done this before, where it's a concerted effort for our company and our employees being asked to volunteer at the company's expense, not their own expense. And that so far has been a great success. And the feedback we get from both from our employees, but also from the foundation is super positive.
And I think that's something that people often feel, that support for something like the foundation has to be financial. And it isn't. There's so many of those programs that benefit enormously from just a few hours of your time to be able to come down and just alleviate the pressure of daily life for some of these programs. And as you say, they are inspiring, and I've been lucky enough to be associated with them for many years now, and I would actively encourage any of your members of staff and anybody watching generally, if it was even a small consideration that they had to get involved, is come down, because it will not only change the lives of the people you're helping, it will make a difference to you as well. And I really do genuinely believe that.
Absolutely.
No, I always make the point as well that it seems to be, and I've not checked this out, but it seems to be bigger than most other clubs' investments in this community, the amount of things that Sarah's done.
Yeah.
So it's the Saracens Exeter game is the foundation takeover game. Is there anything City Index or so? Are you StoneX? I'm still confused. I know City Index is part of StoneX, but you're StoneX.
So I was just saying, so StoneX is the entire organization, the entire group. And within that, we have our retail offering under the brand of City Index. So it's almost a case of, think of City Index by StoneX. It is one of our products, one of our platforms within the whole StoneX organization. So we're one and the same.
Looking forward to the game at the weekend. Exeter coming into town. A little bit of rivalry there that goes on quite a few years now. What do you think the outcome of the weekend's match will be? Putting you right on the spot and talk rugby.
Well, first of all, I think if there is ever a game that you want to take full advantage of in terms of raising the profile of the foundation and what the foundation does, this is the game to do it. This is a big game. It's going to be televised, not just on BT Sport, but on ITV. This is a great opportunity to really highlight this. And in terms of predictions, well, of course, I expect Saracens will do incredibly well. How tight a match it is, I've been wrong every single time. And, I'm with you. The Bristol game was one that I got very wrong. I did not expect it to get that close to the wire. But, I do think those make the games much more exciting. Absolutely. And I think this is going to be one that will be gripping. We're starting to get to the point where people are looking at playoff opportunities, and this is the time of year where you cannot make a mistake. There's too much at stake. And Saracens know that and feel that, having had a year in the championship.
Yeah. And what a fantastic return, almost instantly, to have your company branding at hopefully a final of some description, whether it be domestically or in Europe. I assume that there will be a day off for all of your members of staff if we were to lift some silverware this year.
Do you know that has actually been raised as what are we going to do question in terms of what happens if, and no decision has been made, but clearly we're very hopeful, and we think this is going to be the first of many good seasons that we're going to have with the association between StoneX, City Index and Saracens.
Brilliant. Well, it's certainly been a breath of fresh air having you guys on board, and as you say, hopefully we'll use the rest of this agreement and hopefully onto future agreements to continue to build those links and enjoy the successes together.
Thank you so much for being part of Saris, and we'll hopefully see you on Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
That's brilliant. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Brilliant.
Fantastic stuff there. And we are, as I said, this episode is all about celebrating everything Saracens Foundation. The Saracens Foundation are a community charity that works across North London and Hertfordshire using sport as a tool for positive change. They do a lot of fantastic work, some of which centres around disability groups, and in January, the entire men's playing group and training ground staff came to see what the disability work is all about. Check out this video.
Oh no, you're done. At the foundation, we're trying to break down the barriers to participation in sport and physical activity for specific excluded groups, so like those with disabilities who are some of the most inactive in society. So our Disability Hub provides young disabled people with the opportunity to be more regularly active and part of an inclusive sports community. So the Disability Hub acts as an inclusive community and support network where families and carers can feel positively empowered and connected with their local communities.
We spent a long time thinking about our vision recently and like what makes us get out of bed in the morning. And as a kind of collective group, it was kind of putting people first and enriching people's lives through sport and entertainment. And actually, it's that enriching people's lives that's really, really important to us. And actually, that's what everyone kind of is really proud of.
I just love it's kind of got a really buzz, and there's so much passion and energy and effort from these guys on a Monday night. I just love the progress that they can make with just a bit of effort, and how they just get so involved and passionate about it. And it's the highlight of their week, I do know.
Just seeing how enthusiastic and excited the kids are, they're sort of bouncing up and saying hello, and they can't wait to get involved. I think it is amazing, and the more support they can get from the players, said staff, everyone involved in the club, fantastic. It doesn't probably get as much recognition as we could give it, and try and do that as much as possible.
So for me personally, being involved in the programme, it has made a big impact on my life. Seeing these boys come down each week, putting in 100% effort, enjoying the sessions, getting so much out of it. I can see they've developed massively, and I know that their parents have said they've developed outside of the programme because of the programme and the club's interaction.
Now it's time for Ask a Saracen. Your exclusive access to the players. Ask the juicy questions you've always wanted to know, within certain limits, obviously. We collate questions from you, the fans, and ask a player each episode. So be sure to send in your questions for our next episode for Nick Izikwe via social media @Saracens, #The Huddle, or email thehuddle@Saracens to get involved. And he could be answering your questions on the next episode. But this week, it's Vincent Koch on Ask a Saracen. Take it away, Vinny.
Hi guys, this is Vincent Koch. This is Ask a Saracen.
Good. Inside ball. Nobody will touch Vincent Koch.
Gary Williams via Instagram. Who is the toughest opponent you ever faced in a scrum? I would say it was international level against Argentina. Playing for South Africa, scrummed against Marco Aerita. It was a very tough day for me. I learned quite a lot. And I think back in the day they had an unbelievable pack as well, and I was young. I was quite young in tighter position as well. I moved from looser to tighter, so there was quite a lot of things to learn. But yeah, like I said, when you're young, you don't know all the tricks and you don't know how to get out of certain positions. But yeah, that day was quite a good learning day for me, and it just made me stronger. I had to learn new tricks and better scrum positions, and I think the coaching staff back in the day also helped me with that. Sarah via email. Who is the most energetic of the forwards when you are training in the week? I'll probably say Jamie George and Riggsy, Ben All. They've always got energy. I think Ben All, probably because he's still young, so he just brings so much energy. Doesn't always give me the energy because he just doesn't add any value. And Jinx is always just a funny bloke around the pitch. Oh, and Richard Barrington, full of jokes, and his energy is next level. Aaron Atkins via Instagram. What is the culture shock moving to England? How long did it take you to adjust? It's quite different. First of all, it's the weather plays a role, and I would say when I just arrived, people weren't as friendly as South Africans. So that was quite a change, but. It's very similar to South Africa, I would say. I think the weather and the people is probably quite the biggest thing. But then I realized how the people are, and I had to adjust to the culture. And now it's easy for me and the family. If you go back at the culture at the club, it's been amazing. It's something that I've never experienced in my life. It's actually one of those clubs where you want to stay for the rest of your life, and it's one place that that makes you just feel welcome. So yeah, like I said, outside of rugby, it was probably a bit more difficult. But when I met the boys and the coaches, it was actually very easy to slot in. Palm Pro Gardening via Instagram. Which do you prefer, chocolate or crisps? Like I said, it's not a tough decision. Crisps definitely. I'm not a massive fan of chocolate. I do eat it, like you can see on the rig. But yeah, crisps. I do like salt and vinegar. That's probably my go-to.
As Saracens power forwards and held, and then they get it down. It looks like Vincent Koch.
Bertrand via Instagram. How did you meant to prepare for the World Cup final? Yeah, that was quite a strange thing. It was actually easy. We didn't really have to prepare mentally. Rassie Erasmus did most of that for us, and I think he gave us the scenario where we had to fight for our country and our people in South Africa. Things weren't too great in South Africa, so that definitely gave us the edge. And yeah, so we didn't really have to do it ourselves. He just threw in the scenario, and yeah, we just fought for the people back home. Cy Hastings via Facebook. What do you do day to day to maintain motivation and hunger for more success? Yeah, I just love the game. That's why I play it. The main reason is I just enjoy the game. Grew up loving it, and yeah, I think the one thing that reminds me to stay positive and motivated is to enjoy it. You never know when your last game is, so yeah, just enjoy it and yeah, give you everything every single day. The mates you play with, like I said, it's about fun for me, and yeah, doing with your best mates is always easier, and it gives you the extra motivation to do it for them and not only for yourself. Scott Phillip Day via Facebook. Who's the most influential or motivational player you've played with at Saracens? I would say Schalk Brits. He was quite a massive mentor for me and learned quite a lot on and off the field. He's a joker off the field, but he can also turn things around. He's been around the park, around the block actually for ages, so he taught me quite a lot. And like I said, he told me to enjoy it as well. You could always see the smile on his face, and yeah, I'll definitely remember all his chat and yeah, what he taught me today. John Mannings via Twitter. If you could go back in time and play one Saracens game again, which one would it be? I would say it was the semi-final against Exeter 2016-17. We lost in the semi-final against them. It was the last scrum of the game. We gave away a scrum penalty, so if I could go back in time, I'll probably try hard in that one. Not for them to get a penalty and kick to the touch and yeah, score the winning try. So till today, that game still in my head, and yeah, I'll try to change that. It was my first season at Saracens, so of course wanted to prove a point and to get the trust of the boys. Won the European the week before that, so it was unbelievable from the boys and the team. Got the first trophy and then tried to back it up against a good Exeter team, and yeah, I just think personally I could have done better, and yeah, like I said, just if I could go back in time, that was the one I would have changed. Sam Prowse via Facebook. What are you going to miss about Saracens? Yes, pretty much everything. But yeah, the most is probably the boys. I really enjoyed the time with the boys on and off the field, and yeah, I would say that's probably what I'm going to miss the most, is just having fun with the boys and laughing and yeah, being there through the tough times and the good times. What I'll miss is the unseen things that people on the outside won't really know if they're not involved in the club. It's looking after the family, looking after the wives, the kids. And yeah, that's probably the things I'll probably miss the most. Okay, Daniel via email. How are the group feeling about the season with potentially 2 trophies up for grabs? Yeah, I think we're excited. I think we're in a good position to actually do win. We could probably win 2 trophies. So yeah, I think the boys are getting excited for towards the end of the season. The game's coming up, and yeah, hopefully we can make each other proud and the people outside. Like I said, the fans and the families proud as well. Yeah, the team is back together at the moment. We've got all the internationals back, so yeah, I think the guys are excited about the last few games of the season. I think we've been up and down throughout the season, but I think this is time for us to show who we are and yeah, get back on track and yeah, put good performances up towards the end of the season. Thank you very much, guys, for all the questions. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Next up is Nicky Zikwe. Good luck with that, buddy. Yeah, and get your questions through to him.
The brilliant Vincent Koch there. Fantastic stuff. Tune in next time for Nicky Zikwe. on Ask a Saracen. That'll be exciting as well. Now we are joined by, well, they're obviously going to be future legends, those two. We're now joined by a legend of the club, over 300 appearances, backs coach, one of the great Saracens. If you cut him, he bleeds Saracens. It's Kevin Sorrell, friend of the show. Kev, how are you?
Very good, thanks. All right.
Hi, Kevin.
Very good. Are you at the training ground now?
Yeah, we just finished. So this was our first training day today. So it's like an install session. So it's a light day for us. So we've just come off the pitch now. Yeah. So yeah, all done.
And how are they looking? Do they get as nervous as we do about big games like Exeter? Because I'm already sleeping a little bit less, caring a bit too much.
It's almost the other way. They get the excitement builds through the course of the week. Even the way the lads are talking today about the game, it's a genuine excitement building up because it's quite a nice game for us.
Yeah, a big one to look forward to, isn't it? How much do you think that Exeter playing Munster back to back twice is going to impact their preparation as opposed to us certainly being at home at the weekend and potentially having a slightly lighter workload with the trip to Breathe and then Cardiff at home?
Yeah, I suppose they were two tough games for them, but at the same time they'll have learnt a lot about themselves, so it goes both ways really. But it would have been nice if all those teams at the top of the Premiership could have stayed in Europe to get them a bit more lumps taken out of them in preparation for the end of the season. So yeah, it would have been nice if Quins and Exeter had stayed in the tournament. But yeah, no, I think we've got a few bumps and bruises as well. So it's I think the Breathe game, bizarrely, was on our GPS stuff was the highest it's been of the season in terms of ball in play and how quick that game was. So the boys were absolutely hanging at the end of that. So it might not have been the physical challenge we had, but it was a different type of game in terms of how long the ball was in play for that one.
And it felt like on the night, whichever way you faced, you were running into the wind. It was the most bizarre set of weather, wasn't it?
Yeah, genuinely, when we got there, I was looking at the posts and I was thinking, there's no chance they're staying up during the course of the game. Like, it was actually
on the telly. They were moving. Weren't they?
It was incredible. Like Owen was trying to kick for goal, and he was like, "Do I aim 2 meters out of the left or 5 meters out of the left of it?" So it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously been disruption, hasn't there? I wasn't even sure with team selection because you were saying, Steve, there's people that have to have rests in certain points. About how seriously we take we've taken the Challenge Cup. Going, is it like semi-serious? Going, well, it's not the biggest piece of silverware, but I almost wanted to go into the dressing room at half time during the Cardiff game and go, I would like to go to Marseille. Can we all and just remind everybody? Because I felt like it was a little bit hungover. It felt that that performance. Am I being too critical there?
I mean, we looked at the team selection and bearing in mind the maximum of 9 or 10 games left towards the end of the season, and then factoring in that little bit of EPS rest and things like that, it felt, you know, a good, strong team, but another starting 15 that perhaps hadn't started at all this season. So we're quite fortunate in that position to be able to mix and match faces. But I'm sure Kev will tell us that every game matters and that it's a trophy that we haven't won. So yeah, we're going out to win everything, aren't we?
It would be a shocker. It would be quite a shocker, Kev, if you could go, we don't really care about Challenge Cups, having a laugh and see what combinations work.
No, I think we're in a position with where we were in the cup that as we did the last year. Well, so the last time we were in Europe, shall I say, we were able to give some younger players some exposure in those games as well. Like I remember Manu playing away at Munster, playing away at Racing. So those boys got some really good experience that year. Unfortunately, Jamie George had his honeymoon booked in for last week, so that's where he was. So yeah, it was there was a few boys that had already been given an option of some rest time, as you say. So it was just allowed the next man to step up. So and as you say, we got the job done. So now we're into the quarters. So that's exciting for us to try and progress further.
And are we clear now? There's no more EPS scheduled breaks, or is that it? Are we? If you're fit, you're in for selection.
Yeah, you'll have to look at Smalley's algorithms on his notepads he runs, because he's got all the selections and everything lined out there. So it's all very confusing.
Excellent.
Brilliant. I do think. I mean, with the Exeter thing, we were talking about that. I I think both teams, I mean, I'm just my expectation, are going to play incredibly well on Sunday because we're both coming off slight disappointments. Cardiff, we wanted to beat them by more, but we got through and it was fine. And they were good. They're very, that's the thing about Cardiff. Everybody wrote them off, and we went brilliant back row, brilliant half backs. I thought, you know, and I think both of us are looking to hit a peak.
I think there's a lot at stake, even if it's just bragging rights. Yeah. I think nobody wants to concede anything at this stage of the season, do they?
No, not at all. And I think as much as like sort of you mentioned like how well Cardiff did, it was some of our actions that we looked at and we were a bit down on. So that was, as you say, I thought their back row was outstanding and caused us disruption at the breakdown the whole day. But when you actually look at it and look at our actions, we could have helped ourselves out massively there. So it was a lot of what we were doing that allowed them the opportunity around there. So that was a good lesson for us because we saw what Exeter did to the Munster breakdown that first game. Like they destroyed it. So it's going to be a proper battle there. Yeah.
Do we know who the referee is for the weekend yet?
We just got it through now. Yeah, Craig Maxwell Keys.
Oh, good. Oh, don't say anything. That's fine. We're allowed.
I haven't read the report on him yet. So,
do you know what I love? Is it who's the account on Twitter? There's a lovely Saracen supporters account that wishes best of luck to the referee before each game. It's really sweet. It's really like just want to say loads of love.
You've got to get in
really suck up to the ref.
That's Smalley's Twitter account. Yeah.
We did actually bump into Sir from the Brief game, Mike Adamson, in Brief a couple of times, and we did offer to buy him lunch, but he wasn't being swayed. Unlike the Posts,
So, how does training usually go then for a week like this? So it's a lighter day state. When is like a heavier day during, or do you not when you've got big games sort of back to back? Is there not a sort of heavy day this week where you tend to be more light training?
Yeah, our second day is always the hard work day. So tomorrow will be, it'll be a really tough day, especially for the forwards because they do their set piece stuff. So that's live set piece in the morning, and then they have to get ready and go again in the afternoon for the afternoon session. So it's a high intensity session where we're trying to replicate periods of how the game will be. So it's a lot of like different blocks of training really, so we might have some contact stuff, then go into like 4-minute blocks of high intensity work. But we're massively governed by Phil Morrow really. Like he's the sort of the guru of that side of things, and we trust him and use him. So he will come to us and say, like today he said, right, you can have 45 minutes, no high speeds, no fatigue in them. So then we have to adapt our session accordingly. And tomorrow we've shortened it from where we were last week, so we've only got 40 minutes tomorrow. So you basically have to plan every minute to try and squeeze everything you can get out of it. And he's so experienced in what he's done over his career, and I suppose we've been lucky that towards the end of the season we've been involved in these sort of like big games regularly. So you try and tailor it so you're peaking towards the end of the season. So those last few weeks of the seasons you taper it down a little bit, but now it's this week will be probably a bit lighter, but then I'd say we'll probably ramp it up for a few weeks.
And will the squad know the likely 23? You mentioned Smalley's algorithm. Will you be training in those blocks so you'll know as a collective who the likely 23 will be?
Yeah, the lads found out selection today, so we always try and do it as early as possible. So for that reason, so that the combinations and the units can sort of get some cohesiveness between them. So yeah, just try and build it through the week. So
excellent, yeah,
brilliant. Well, wish them the best. Yeah. Well, say that we're relaxed. I think we shouldn't communicate to the team how much we care. I don't really mind. We can lose to Exeter and still win the Premiership. It's not a problem.
The team are excited. We're okay about it.
It's not going to be tense and nasty unless Tony Rowe turns up. If he does, but if he's not there, it'll be a lovely day out.
Of course it will.
Kev, thank you so much for joining us and giving us brilliant insight into training. I know nothing about training, so I'm excited. Thank you, and best of luck to the team. Best of luck to you. Thanks very much.
Have a good week.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers. Brilliant stuff there. So now it's time for moment of the week. But we're sort of expanding this, aren't we, Steve? Because we haven't been on since the Showdown 2.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the moment of the month.
Well, moment of March.
Moment of March.
Yeah.
What was your moment of the Showdown 2? We've already mentioned the glorious moment when we thought we'd lost.
Yeah,
and we actually
that was quite special,
disallowed.
wasn't it? I mean, so many memorable. I mean, obviously the dance programme that filled that lower bowl at half time. Our violinist to open up, and how the heck she concentrated on.
I am so upset I missed that, and I did miss that because we were getting last minute drinks, which was the beginning of the
please take your seats early. But even right to the end of the game, the atmosphere in the fans' village afterwards, and the fantastic band. I mean, some could say the moment of that game was me dancing with my daughter on my shoulders post match.
Well, I missed that as well. Was I there for that and forgot that as well?
I think you were at the bar then.
I was at the bar then.
But no, just an amazing. Our Galaxy Thief, what an amazing band they were, and obviously all of our partner clubs.
Yeah,
occupying that
was
17,500 stand at the end of the ground there and creating such an amazing atmosphere. I think when we're back there next year, whoever the opposition...
just the Billericay Bees, who I was quite scared of running into them because they are messaging. Again. Do they look hard?
I don't know, they can barely hold a flag. And there's the ball coming in from said platform, right up at the top of that 720 metre circumference glass ceiling.
And what a lovely lesson this is in don't get last minute drinks, get in early.
Exactly.
Sit
Look
down,
at what you
don't
missed.
be queuing up.
There we go. But yeah, can't wait to see that place absolutely full.
Absolutely brilliant. It was fantastic. It was a genuinely special day.
It was, yeah.
And we shouldn't, but and the players, they had a bit of a dodgy thing, but that actually made it more exciting.
Yeah, what a spectacle for the neutral. Yeah, I mean, the game was live really until the last decision, wasn't it? And you want nothing more as a neutral to watch a sporting event. You don't want it decided after an hour, do you?
Yeah.
Maybe as a Saracens fan, it would have been a little bit more comfortable if we'd been 30 points up. But
exactly.
There we go.
Exactly, which is what I loudly said.
Yes, before the game.
Outside before I did, on that big stage where the band was, I stood there and I think I said there were some Bristol fans, so I went have a lovely day and don't think about what's about to happen to you.
You did.
And I was very, very cocky. I'm never going to be like that again. I have huge respect for every club we're playing for the rest of the season. But, sorry, we talked, so Showdown 2, fantastic. But as for my moment of the week, in terms of the Cardiff game, there were lots of great moments.
There were.
Max Malin's doing some wonderful breaks.
Yeah.
There was Alex Good. Alex Good. I always say Good because of Goody, but it's Alex Good, isn't
Alex Good.
The 22-22.
Well, this is where we part company because your moment of the week is very different from mine.
Yeah.
His kick, 22-22, not 50-22, to take the mark right in on the 5-yard line and to make that sort of distance, I thought that was exceptional. And I think this is where we're going to see some of these rule changes, these subtle rule changes, actually be picked up on by players and maybe coaches. We saw Dan Robson win the game for at Gloucester, didn't we, the other week, where he's collected a goal line dropout and he's just leathered it back and taken the drop goal and won the game. And then you'll see Goody called a mark in the 22 and find that kick. For me, that was exceptional talent to get the ball that far, but an exceptional understanding of the game as well, which that's why it was my moment of the week. But I'll be interested to hear why it isn't.
He kicked fantastically.
He did,
and nothing. I thought Alex Good was fantastic. I just think Owen Farrell doesn't get enough love. There's too much stuff of him being seen as a big, tough, 10 and a centre. But these bits of skill, he never gets enough appreciation. That was an incredible bit of skill. That if Marcus Smith had done it, people would have gone, he's a genius.
This is the thing,
If you're this is the problem with becoming a great rugby player and becoming a bit of a legend. Look at that.
Much like the Cardiff side, I missed that live.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. And I had to watch it 2 or 3 times to actually pick up on what he's done there. And the sense of awareness and getting the call from the inside, that subtle little touch and that little out the back door offload.
The pressure he's under. He's got somebody in his face, I think basically, I think that's the thing that we just take players for granted who are great players. And I think Owen Farrell this week, or Faz, as I'd like to call him when I get to know him better. But same thing with Billy, same thing with other players that we just expect. Marrow, we expect them to do great stuff because they are great players.
I did say on Twitter this morning, for me, the England player that had the best Six Nations, Owen Farrell. His stock has gone up immeasurably. But England missed him.
Yeah.
They missed him. They absolutely missed him.
And you think maybe using him at centre might be what Eddie
Well,
might...
maybe.
It was your idea all along, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Way back a few seasons ago. Brilliant stuff. Right, it's time for another fabulous guest. Today we have Kieran Crombie with us, who's the head of the Saracens Foundation for the last 4 years, in which time the charity's grown by over 50%, impacted the lives of over 65,000 people this season alone, and to date they run over 30 projects every week, providing support for all our local communities. He's just a total force for good. Let's welcome Kieran.
Hi, Kieran.
Look, he's even got fans standing behind him. Look, Maro just loves him. He just looks at him like that all day.
He's just got that glow.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Hal.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Excellent.
Brilliant. Can I say, doing this job, because it is, I know Steve does a job that isn't of any help to society, and mine is, but does it help you sleep better at night when you know you're part of something so special?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. I think also I get the most enjoyment from my job from the people I work with, not only the staff but the beneficiaries, and seeing the difference that we make over a long period of time. Because a lot of the young people that come to us and the people that we work with, they're with us for years. So actually, I've known them for 4 years now. So that's something that's really special.
Fantastic. Overall, I've got this question written down for me, but I don't know if it's too massive to answer. What are the main aims of the Saracens Foundation? What's the sort of ethos of the whole thing?
Yeah, so the aim of the charity is to basically tackle local people and communities' challenges through sport. And our aim is basically to have a measurable impact on a person's life. And as you said in the intro, this year it's 65,000 people's lives. And over the next 3 years, we're hoping to grow that year on year, so reaching more people and changing more lives.
I had some figures about this because I looked it up. Because we just had a report, haven't we, commissioned by the Saracens Group, and it found that the social return on investment is £6.60 for every £1 invested. By comparison, the average social return on investment across sports as a whole is estimated at £3.28.
Yeah.
How do they do that? How is the return so much better of what Saracens achieves?
Yeah, so what EY did is they independently reviewed all of our data from our project. So in essence, for example, we run a program in prisons, and the aim of that program is to reduce reoffending rates. So what we measure as a foundation is how many people coming out of prison have reoffended within the first 12 months. And in essence, what EY then do is they look at, well, what is the value saved by having someone not go to prison? So it costs around £89,000 to have someone in Feltham prison for a year. So you can kind of demonstrate the impact of your investment by doing that. And we do that across our programs. And we always talk about the 30 different projects that we run. They're very diverse, which is what I always tell people is we've got programs that work in prisons, but we also work to try and reduce loneliness and isolation of older adults. The average age of that program is 72 and the oldest participant's 102. Wow. And we work in primary schools and secondary schools. So when we talk about 30 projects, they're very diverse. So that's £6.60 across all of them.
And I've been lucky enough, Kieran, to be involved in some of the projects that the foundation's been delivering, things like Track Club and what have you. And I've seen firsthand the benefit that not only the participants but the helpers and the people that donate some of their time get out of that relationship. What would you say to anyone that was considering helping in some way the foundation?
Yeah, I think you've kind of summed it up really well there, Steve. I think visiting and volunteering at the sessions, you get probably as much enjoyment and benefits as those that are attending. And you can see a lot of that in our disability programs, where we have a lot of volunteers who come along and support. So every Monday night at StoneX Stadium from 5 to 6 p.m, we run 3 different disability programs: a dance session, a rugby session, and then a session multi-sports. And they're great opportunities to come down and see our programs and get involved. And as Steve said, you get so much from it. So if you're interested in volunteering and you're watching this Huddle session, then please let me know. My email address is on the Saracens Foundation website. Come down and get involved.
Yeah, very much so.
It does. It looks like so much fun on the VT, and the players do turn up a lot, don't they? to help out?
Yeah, so we have incredible engagement from the players. In fact, Sean Maitland comes down every single Monday night to get involved, and I think you'll see we've got a video coming out shortly with him in it, talking about actually the impact he gets from it. He's a family man, and he gains an awful lot by coming down and seeing the young people with disabilities play rugby and support them. But we generally, honestly, I've worked in football clubs before. I worked at Fulham. And we get so much more engagement and volunteering hours from the players. Tim Swinson comes into the prison quite regularly to help out. So yes, so they're incredible.
God, as I was telling you beforehand, I don't want to have a go at footballers, but let's take this opportunity. But I was doing this thing at Great Ormond Street, and they said that footballers are the toughest to deal with because they're often having said that, they've got a lot more pressure on them, and they're not. But I just think rugby players are nicer people. It's easiest to get them involved. So yeah. But so this weekend it's the takeover game. It sounds quite threatening. This. What is the foundation? What does that entail? The foundation takeover game.
Yeah, so it's our opportunity to raise awareness of what we do. So that I think one of the things we always talk about is getting more of the fans, more of us, the supporters, the stakeholders, to understand exactly what we deliver. So that's the first objective of a takeover game. So you will see all of the comms leading up to the match days, and everything that happens at the match day will be talking about the foundation. So that's the key one. The other key part of it, obviously as a charity, is we need to raise money to keep our programs going. Without the funding that we get from and the donations we get from fans, our programs just wouldn't happen. So the other part of the foundation match day, or the takeover day as we call it, is to raise money. So we look to fans and some of the partners to support those days. And we're lucky here at Saracens because the partners of the club are really supportive of what we do. So you'll see that City Index, StoneX are supporting the takeover game. We've tried donate. But we also have opportunities for fans to get involved. So we've got a sweepstake. Again, it's really fun. You guess the score and when the first try is going to happen. And for £10, you have the opportunity to win match-worn signed items. So we've got some boots and some shirts that we're giving away as part of that sweepstake. So you can win something. You can donate to a really great cause and you can win something.
I'm definitely going to do it. Do you know what I would do? Which I think, I don't want to say this, is really, but I have a thing, if you actually do bet on it, I would put the sweepstake on to say Exeter are going to win. So that then you don't feel, it just offsets the pain if they do.
Well, as long as you donate your winnings to the foundation afterwards.
Exactly.
Then that's everybody wins.
I've made let's not talk, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even mentioned loss, should I? Could I say, Kieran, with having grown over 50% in the last 4 years, was that meant to happen? Did you go in going, I'm going to grow it massively, or did it just happen and you went,
all down to you,
we'll do that, we'll do that. Did they go, Kieran, you've lost because the foundation's too big?
It's certainly not down to me. But yeah, when I came in, the goal was to try and to be the first rugby foundation attached to a PRL club to make more than £1 million and invest that into community, which we did in 2018-19. Then the pandemic came along, which caused us a lot of issues. As I'm sure you can imagine, like a quarter of our fundraising came from events, and then we had 2 years where we had no events. So we struggled then, but we came. I feel that we came out in a stronger way. But right now this year we're going to invest £1.2 million into our charitable activities, putting our programs on. But we're super ambitious. So in the next 3 years, we're looking to grow that investment up to 2.1 million by 24-25, so almost 100% growth over the next 3 years. And what that means for us is basically more impact. So we're reaching more people and improving their health, education, employability, which are the three things we measure, which is obviously so important to our local people and communities that we work with.
Yeah, it's amazing. And if anybody directly wants to get involved, I do believe we've still got 2 spaces in our Race to the Tower team, haven't we, Kieran?
Yeah, Steve's took a long walk for us. So if anyone does want to get involved in doing a massive walk, Steve's raising a lot of money and has previously, Steve, I'll shout out to you, raised a lot of money for us in the past as well. So please get involved.
Yeah.
See, I'm happy about that, but I hate anything that makes you look smug. I just sit there going, thank you for mentioning what I've done for Sarah. What have you done, Hal? Look, I'll do something, okay? I just. What is the walk?
So it's a double marathon. It's 52.4 miles or 85 kilometres on the 25th of June along the Cotswold Way. So we'll be parading our way down to Gloucester and waving at them on the way past, and just enjoying what hopefully will be a good weather weekend, but most importantly raising as much as we possibly can for the foundation. So
fabulous.
And it's over 24 hours, isn't it, Steve? I think.
Yes,
it's gonna be a 24 hour.
That's it. Non-stop. Yeah, we're going to walk right the way through. Yeah.
Is it going to take 24 hours to do a double marathon? Oh, it does, doesn't
No,
it?
well, possibly not. About 20 hours, we think, for this one. But yeah.
Oh, God, that will be impressive.
So there's 2 spaces free. So there's one extra space.
That wasn't a yes, was it? That definitely wasn't a yes.
I know, I'll check my diary. Maybe I could just drive alongside and be supportive and shout things.
You could do,
you know, keep up with the car. Keep up with it. Anyway, brilliant stuff. Probably will we see you around probably on Sunday, Kieran? Are you going to be?
Yeah, you'll see all the foundation staff around. We'll all be wearing T-shirts. So if anyone's got any questions or anything, then come up to us on a match day. We're raising money, but we can also answer lots of questions that you've got.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us to explain that, and thank you for
thank you so
everything
much
you
for
do
having me.
for Saracens Foundation.
Cheers.
And you've even got quite a bright light on him that makes him seem more sort of heavenly.
That's it.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, quite so.
Kieran Crombie, thank you very much, head of Saracens Foundation. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Hal. Thanks, Steve.
So that is all for this show. Sorry, I was rude about your job. I realised at the beginning.
That's
You
okay.
definitely do much. You do. You help farmers, don't you?
I'd like to add a little value to some people's lives.
It's me that has absolutely
not 65,000 though.
No, exactly. Well, no one's as good as Kieran. But, so that is all for this show. But remember, please get in contact with us via social media at Saracens, #TheHuddle, or email thehuddle@saracens.net to send in any questions or anything you want to know about the show, particularly sending questions for Nick Ezekwe for Ask a Saracen. And now it's time for Listography, which is 3 things. The questions are 3 things you might say under the posts, 3 players most likely to add value to a club meeting, 5 things you might hear shouted from the coach's box. Dealing with these very important issues, it's Jamie George and Mako Vunipola. This is a heavyweight, cool episode of Listography.
Top players, yeah.
Anyway, see you soon. Take care. See you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
The underline. Yeah. Just think about this. Yeah, but
3 things that you say under the posts.
oh wait, what? 3 words?
Or phrases.
Yeah, not bad. Stay in the club. That's like our way of saying discipline. Be more physical. Next job. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, so same as Jamie, physical and next job. Sometimes we have energy. It's like, oh, we need to raise the energy or intensity.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, mate.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done, us.
3 players most likely to add value in a team meeting.
Wait, like...
Was in like actual rugby value?
Your interpretation.
Rugby value. No, I mean, if we don't get this the same, it'll be a miracle. Like,
it'd be annoying.
Yeah. Just think about this, because there are only 3 people that talk.
Yeah, but...
And you're allowed to put yourself in there as well.
Yeah, I couldn't be asked to write the full name, so I've gone with the initials. So OF, Faz, JG, Jinx, Jamie, MV. It was MI, and then he gave me the eyes, so I was like, all right.
There are only 3, 4 who actually know what they're talking about, so... Like, thankfully for you, 2 of them are here.
3 out of 3, that.
5 things you might hear shouted from the coach's box.
Am I allowed to put like starred?
Yes.
Let's say work, cradle, energy, get off the line. Sometimes they just shout energy, which is generic and no one really like, what does that even mean? Get off the line. It's just classic, obviously, defensively. 3, stay in the club, like discipline. Again, what the coaches need to realise is that no one listens to what they shout from the sideline. So, it shouldn't actually really matter. Go get them, and then I know for a fact they get annoyed at everyone. So, I should have put work. Work's a good
Work. You always hear Mark call work. Don't know who, but he'd be like, work.
one. More for me.
DV, kicking coach, so he's actually running the water. So he's the closest to the game, and all you ever hear him say is, as the ball's in the air, cradle. Energy, same as Jamie. Get off the line and go get them and bang them is probably the same.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Energy, get off the ine and go get them. That's 3, is it?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Like no one's beating that surely. We got 3 from 3 in the last one. 3 out of this. Well, that's 6, 8. No one's beating 8, I think.
We're done.
Thank you.
Absolutely done.
Yeah, no one's beating 8, I think.
Done pretty well there.